节省时间呢，我们今天的就流程非常的简单，就是一开始是由代表会针对这一次的情势呢跟大家分享与报告，然后接下来我们就会开放那个媒体提问。那我们首先呢，先欢迎就是驻台北以色列经济文化办事处代表尤玛雅代表来先为大家说一下。
Okay, good morning. And thank you for coming here. I see many familiar faces. This is unprecedented times for Israel, really historical days. During the last 11 days, Israeli air forces has been attacking in Iran nonstop. And at the same time, in Israel, Iranian missiles have been attacking cities and civilians nonstop. This is a scale of destruction that we have not seen ever before, and Israel is in a state of emergency. Israel is a country that was threatened from day one of its existence 77 years ago. Yet now we are facing direct and deliberate attacks on our civilians. My parents, my friends are in shelters. There are no schools, only essential working places are active, and Israeli people are paying a very heavy price. These are historical days not only for Israel and not only for the Middle East, but to the entire international community. Geostrategic changes are happening in scale and in pace like never before, and especially what we have witnessed last night with President Trump's bold decision, decisive decision, to military attack 3 nuclear facilities in Iran demonstrates once again that the US is the leader of the free world acting against totalitarian regimes. The main message from that historical act and from what we are hearing from many countries since the open of the Rising Lion military campaign is very clear. Under no circumstances can Iran possess nuclear weapon. This is a very strong message, and I will repeat that again. This is our time to take a global stance on it. Also, this is day number 626 for Swords of Iron, war against Hamas, which started with a brutal massacre of more than 1,200 Israelis on October 7, 2023. We still fight and we still have, unfortunately, 50 hostages starved and tortured in the tunnels of Hamas in Gaza, and we will not stop until they're all back. There is one thing that we learned in a harsh way from that October 7 attack, and that is when our enemies call to annihilate Israel, we listen to them and we believe them. And this is exactly what is happening today with Iran. The supreme leader of Iran, Khamenei, has been continuously calling for the destruction and annihilation of the state of Israel. Iranian radical Islamist regime had a very clear plan to annihilate the state of Israel, and it included 3 pillars: the nuclear program, the ballistic weapon program, and the terrorist proxies, and I will go over that. I will not go into the long history of negotiations with Iran about the nuclear program, but I will mention that on June 12th, the day before Rising Lion started, there was a decision made by the International Atomic Energy Agency stating that Iran is in non-compliance to its NPT safeguards. It means that Iran is the only country in the world that is having highly enriched uranium for 60%. There is no justification for having that level of highly enriched uranium for peaceful purposes. Now, the amounts of that highly enriched uranium are sufficient for 9 atom bombs. And what is most alarming is that third of that amount was reached and accelerated only during the last 3 months, which means that there was a very quick running of acceleration of enrichment. Now, what happened during the last 3 months? There were negotiations between the US and Iran, which means that in parallel to those negotiations, Iran was actually accelerating its nuclear enrichment and weaponization plans. The second part is the ballistic missile program. Iran is already having thousands of missiles, and we know because we feel them now every day. But on top of that, they had a plan to accelerate to have 10,000 missiles within 3 years until 2027. It means that they were going into massive buildup, into really drastic increase of production. Now, what we're seeing today in Israel are missiles with 200 and 500 tons of explosive. This is like, imagine bus full of explosive flying into a city center. This is what we're experiencing right now. And this is an existential threat for Israel. We are such a small country, much smaller than Taiwan. To have that type of threat with 10,000 missiles being built against us is something that no country in the world can have. The third pillar of the plan of annihilation by Iran was the terrorist proxies, and you all know their names by now: Hamas, Houthis, Hezbollah. They have been financing, training, guiding them, providing weapons. We know that the mastermind before October 7 was really Iran, and the executor was actually Hamas. Now, what Iran planned for 2027 was to activate a ring of fire around Israel, having the same model that we saw on October 7, which means ground invasion for multiple fronts in addition to missile attack. Again, this is something that is existential threat to us. So what we have seen during the last few months is something that we have not seen in the last 2 decades. And that is a very fast running forward in both nuclear and ballistic missiles. So the decision, knowing all of that, was very clear. And we had no other choice